Hi guys. Well, goodness, it has been busy, hasn't it? So, I just want to check in with you guys. I'm going to do another quick video here. I say quick, but you know how that goes. For some of the new items that are in the Diamond Press Ultimate Card Making Collection. That is the today's special. I released a few other videos. I'll link all those in the description box if you want to check those out. It seems that things have been selling out. They restock, they sell out again. Good luck. I hope you got the color of the marquee and everything that you would like, and your boxes and all that good stuff. So these were initially, sent for my free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own. Now I'm just kind of playing with them, but I always give my disclosures anyway because I think that's just the right thing to do. And that doesn't mean I didn't buy my own set. I bought my own, just the box with the auto ship because I need to get those auto ships. And any links in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So today, we made a card yesterday trying out all the different items just so you can kind of have an idea of something. Obviously this is just one example of limitless possibilities you can do. But today I just wanted to play with the dies in a way to show you how to make shaped cards, some basic things. I'll try and complete one or two cards, but really it's just ideas that I wanted to show you. So we'll just get right to it. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what you picked up. And actually my boxes are being delivered today because I picked those up early. So the storage boxes and the refill pockets. Yeah, like I said, those are going in and out of stock because they've been selling out, and then Diamond Press gets a few more in. I think that might be at the end of that, but definitely, if you need refill pockets, pick them up. I don't even know. I don't think the storage boxes are even left now because it's just moving so fast. And then the box by itself with the auto ship, I think, is also possibly sold out. But I'll have all those different links, and we'll go from there. But I do have the stamp sets and the stencils and the inks in front of me here, and the dies. I want to start off. Just real quickly, doing the shaped card. I had mentioned that we would do a shaped card, and these are all super easy, great sets to do like shaker cards with, so that's really nice. But with this guy, I'm going to start with this guy, and then we'll do a doily on it too. So I think what I'm going to do is take this one. I'm going to measure it really quickly here on my mat, just to show you, it's about, the die itself is like 5 3/8 inch tall, and like 4 1/8 wide, so this mats into a standard A2 size card really nicely. But I'm going to make the card from this already. So I just grabbed some papers, I think. Oh yeah, I'm just going to use this craft card for it. And you can do this different ways. You want to fold it this way? Do you want it to open long ways? Do you want to open it traditionally? You can even take this and cut it out of a card you already have. Like I always have these card bases sitting next to me. And if you just want to make a striped card, it's already folded, just put that right on the edge. Let that edge hang off so it doesn't cut. Once you run it through, your card is going to be this shape and you're good to go. But I'm going to create a card base here. So I'm going to just cut this down. Since I know that's roughly an A2 size card size, I'm just going to cut this down to like the 5.5. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm just going to fold it by hand, but you definitely would want to score it at 4 1/4 if you're using a thicker paper. This paper is pretty forgiving. I will crease it really well though. And then I'm just going to place this on here. And we're going to make a shaped card with some layers and then like a little doily. And then from there, whatever your imagination takes you would be great. I think I might do some stenciling on it also. We will see. So what I'm doing right now is just lining this up. Again, off the edge because we don't actually want that edge to cut. And I'm lining it right at, opposite the cutting edge. And then we'll take our marquee, and I'm going to use a folder that I've used many times. It's warped. It has even all these different marks into it, and the reason I do that, your kit comes with new cutting folders, and Diamond Press always includes a cutting folder whenever they, you have your dies. But I just like to show you that even if it's warped, it's still going to cut for you really nicely. And, oh, that reminds me, the auto ship. Oh my gosh, how awesome is auto ship? Beth had mentioned that the auto ship is also going to have envelopes in it, the pouches. It comes with the pouches. It comes with the stencils. It comes with dies, stamps, all that fun stuff. I'm just super looking forward to those. And again, it's like a 1.5 year long program. So what else was I going to say about that? That wasn't quite exactly what I was thinking about. There's something else about the auto ship I wanted to mention, but oh well, I'm sure it'll come to me in a little bit here. Okay, so we have that guy, and then so card base. There you go. shaped card base. Now sometimes I do like to cut another one of these and then place that on top just so it's completely the whole thing, because you know we did leave a little edge off. It's up to you, however you like. For this one, I'm not going to do another one, but I'm going to take this next one. And again, with these nesting dies, you can take 2 of them like this, put them on your paper, tape them so they don't move, and now you have a frame. This piece that cuts out will be a little frame that you can use. Same thing with all these other guys with the nesting. So, really fun. You know, just a lot of usage with those guys. They can make their own mat. Of course, this one, you know, you can cut it out of whatever color paper, and this one out of whatever color paper. Now you have this to mat on top of it. You can cut them out together, so then you just have this frame that you can put on top. So many mix and match layers that you can do with that. What I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to cut this first. Usually with the stenciling, I just stencil my paper and then I cut it, but sometimes people like to cut theirs first to size and then stencil it, so however you want. So this time, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take some of this pink paper. This paper is textured, so it'll give a different look to the stenciling, and I think that's fun. So I'm just going to use that for this here. And again, if you don't have a marquee but you want the box or these dies, the thin metal dies can be cut with any system that cuts thin metal dies. And again, if you have any thin metal dies you want to cut in the marquee that are other brands, that will definitely work as long as they fit in the dimensions of the folder or the elongated folder, of course. Of course, I'm racking my brain. What was it that I was thinking about that I wanted to mention? Ay, ay, ay. Oh well. Okay. So this one I'm going to stencil, but that's going to layer in here, of course. So pretty. I'm going to stencil on that. And then I'm just going to cut like this doily. Why not? This guy out of some white paper. Because I like a good white doily. How cute is that? And so I'll just trim this down and run this through the marquee also, and I will be right back. All right. Look at that. I mean, just... And people ask me all the time about the different machines, because, you know, I have lots of different machines, but I'm like, well, I mean, I reach for the marquee basically several times a day. I make videos the whole morning and while my kids are at school, and I would say it's probably 97-98% of the time I'm using the marquee. The other percent would be because, you know, I have a big die that cuts like a whole book size or something, you know, or however. Let me put this to the side. So, let's see. I was going to pop this on top of there. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to complete this card. I just want to show you some of the ideas that you can do. So we have the different layers, this cute little guy, maybe sentiment, something cute. I'm going to stencil on this. So let's, I'll pick a stencil. Which one? Aw, dots are good. They're all very good. You know what, since I'm using a doily, I'm going to use this just to be a little more kind of feminine, I suppose. And then we'll get our inks. And this time I'm going to use pink on pink because I like that kind of thing. So I'm going to use the deeper pink color that's in here. And, you know, I tape these down usually. But for right now, I think I'm going to do is I'll leave that. I am going to tape this just because I want to be a little more artsy with it, so I'm just going to tape this wherever I feel like, with little scraps of washi that I have laying around here. And maybe one more piece. I think these are the pieces I used the other day on the other tutorial. Okay. And again, so I'm getting this real juicy. You can pounce like this, right? Or you can do this kind of thing. I think I'm going to fill up the whole thing. I was going to do a little here and a little there. And you know, sometimes with stencils, you don't even have to tape it down. You can just bring it over and do a little something like this, move it somewhere else, and do a little something like that. However it is that you want to work with it, of course. So I'm doing a little roundness, maybe a little less in the center here, but definitely around the edges, getting that pink in there. So this is kind of what I was talking about. Whenever you cut it down to size first and then you stencil, the edges that are cut are going to have like a different, they're going to take in the color differently, so it leaves a nice border edge. Something like that. Okay. On this guy, you can just kind of pounce it off if you want to get the rest of the ink off, but since it's the same color, I don't mind. I'm just going to leave it there for the next time I use it. And let's pick this up. Oh, so sweet. Like I said, I wanted to get it really dark around the edges and then just lighter towards the center. And it's just a fun way, just wanted to show you to use this. You can stencil your card base too. If you want to stencil your card bases, what I would recommend is always like pop a piece of paper into it. So put a piece of paper inside of it, and then go ahead and tape it down how you would stencil on it. Because what happens sometimes is even when you're inking out here, you think, oh, it's just going to go on whatever surface that you have underneath it. But sometimes it'll get on the second side, and you don't want that. So I would always put a scrap paper in there, do your inking, and then remove that. And now you have two pristine, you know, the inside nice and pristine, and the outside looks great. So that'd be good. Oh, you can also, well, I already put it away. Take this and kind of go around the edges and do more inking if you would like. One thing Beth was showing too is to just go again with the pink all over the thing. Let's say this was white paper or even this paper. And it just makes it pop even more, you know? So lots of ways to use these guys. And I'm just going to glue this down. And I don't know if you can hear my TV in the background. I have HSN on. I can hear Beth right now. Okay. And then this guy, nice and pristine and white and just lovely. I would put some dimensionals on that. Maybe put your sentiment on this, you know. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. You know me. I'm like, okay, I just want to get some ideas. But now I'm like, okay, it's getting real. I do want to finish that up there. So let's just... let me see. I hadn't planned what I want to do, so let me go through these and I'll pick a sentiment. Sending you paper hugs. And I'm in the, I wouldn't say it's a rut, but just the habit of stamping my sentiments in black ink. But today, I'll try a different color. I'm going to just tape this down because, again, it's kind of a small, since I cut it down already. I don't want to mess with these magnets. I'm just going to tape this down. And we have sending you a paper hug. And while I was going through the stamps, it would be really cute too is to maybe stamp these flowers or do some stenciling on that too, but you can just stamp the flowers just like in the background, like in black ink or however, just have another design element there. And since this is a circle, it doesn't really matter where I put this because you can always align it when you get to your project. Let me pick an ink color here. Should we use the same pink just to bring that through again? Or, maybe, yeah, you know what, I'll do the same, that pink. So I'm just going to take my ink, pop, pop, pop. So I think one thing I haven't talked about is like the ink pad itself. It's kind of like a foam ink pad, but the top almost has like a fabric look to it, so it's going to stamp or work really well. I saw Beth using it quite often for, which is actually pretty good, but I'm going to do it again, for the imprint dies. She was using these ink pads and just kind of running them over the top, and it looked really great. So, you know, again, it's a dye ink. Aw, sweet. Okay, I'm going to clean this off and I'll be right back. I should have done more than just clean that off, but that's okay. Yeah. Could have put the dimensional adhesives on the back of this and all that, but so I'm gonna turn that over, get some dimensionals on there, and I'll just, you know, kind of quickly so we can move to the next thing. But normally I would put more around the edges, more of those. And let's make sure our card is opening the right way. I mean, look at that, how cute! And you know, the pink matching that pink in the background. Let me put this a little straighter so I know what I'm doing. And that's sweet all on its own, just like that. Really quick and easy. But I do have some really inexpensive ribbon here, and you know me, gotta put a finger bow on there. So let's talk about this real quick. Little finger bow. We're gonna put this over both of our fingers. Okay, leave yourself a little bit, but not too much, you don't have to. Over your index finger, under and over, well, under, I guess it's over and under your middle finger. Again, another loop over the top. And this one's gonna finish off down here. And I do this quite often, so if you need it slowed down, and I have plenty of videos where you can see that. Now that we're going to finish off that loop, we're going to go across all our fingers, push down in there, then bring this across this into this crossover that we just created right there. See, I just put my finger in it. Just bring that end in there and push it up. Give it a nice pull. And if you need to adjust the bow at all, because you know your fingers are different widths normally, you can take it from this side, because this side is what started off, and you can pull it in like this and then start adjusting if that's what you want to do. You can adjust it from there, wherever. And just cut the ends, and you can seal the ends with a little flame if you would like. And I usually put it so that this side is facing up, but if you like this side facing up, you know, with the little tails at the top, however you like. And just, you know, add that on there. Of course, I'll do this off camera because I need to use my glue gun, my hot glue, for something like this because it's bulky, but look at that. So cute. And just right here, up on top, wherever it is that you like to put, you know, I'll put it right there. Really sweet. There's another couple ideas, or another idea at least, I want to share with you. Okay guys, for this one, it's just going to be die cutting. I'm going to start off with a standard slimline card base, which for me is 8.5 by 3.5. So basically you're going to take your standard, you know, paper. I'm not going to use this one for that, but a white piece of paper. And you're just going to cut it at 7 inches along the 11-inch side, and then score it at 3.5. So it's 8.5 by 3.5, okay? So when I come back, I'll have that ready. This I'm going to use for these guys. So I know I used these earlier. You can do very similar thing with any of these, the ones that have the inner die that makes it into a frame or into whatever it is that you want to do, a mat. So for this one, I'm going to show you how to do that, I guess, a couple ways, because this is going to be a mat. So for this guy, I'm going to cut him out on here. If it's a little bit too wide, then I'll go this way. Because like I said, this one cuts you legitimately at 8.5 by 3.5 shape. So it's completely 8.5 by 3.5. So I'll cut this out just like this. And then I have some of this beautiful paper. This is actually from the Diamond Press Christmas paper, which I think is still available on HSN. If it is, I'll have a link for you guys. And then I'm going to cut this beautiful poinsettia paper, of course. Love my poinsettias, out of this one. And then I'm going to put a frame on top of that. It's going to serve as a shaker card topper. So I have this seafoam green mirror card, which I thought was really fun. You know me, I was going to go for gold, but I thought, you know what? Let's try something different. So I'm going to use this one. And this one we're going to make a frame. So while the other two are going to be mats, this one's going to be a frame. So I'm going to take this guy and this one. Actually, can I get it the other way? Yeah. I like to save paper as much as I can. And then we're also going to put this guy right in with it, okay? And this will make a frame. And then we're going to line that frame with foam tape. And that will make our shaker. So this is going to be very basic. I just want to show you guys very simple things. I think we're just die cutting on this one, basically. And then your sentiment can be whatever you like. But make sure to tape those so that they don't move. And I'll show you how I would cut this out. Again, the marquee. There's no sandwiches, nothing you got to remember. You just put it in your folders and run it through. Embossing folders, you know. Diamond Press has plenty of embossing folders. Really any standard embossing folder will go through the marquee. You don't want to do like the 3D embossing folders. Okay, so again, a well-loved folder, although you do have new folders in your kit. Again, whenever you pick up a set from Diamond Press, it always comes with new cutting folders for you. So again, I just tape that down so that the other die, those dies don't move. And we'll run that through. And here we go. And you know what? Somebody had asked me too, with the cutting folder, and this is a good example. Whenever you have metallic papers and you have die cutting systems, and once the plate gets all etched up and all that kind of stuff, it will leave those marks on your nice papers, which are usually the metallic papers. And somebody asked me that, and I said, you know, I never really paid attention to that, but I've never had that problem. I know with other die cutting systems, I would have to just not use that piece of paper because it got totally marked up. Or another trick you can do is put a piece of copy paper over your paper, run it through so that those marks don't get on your paper. I've never had to toss out a piece that came through here, and you know, this thing is etched up, as you can see, in different ways, and this looks perfectly fine. So I hope that answers your question, because I was like, you know, I'll have to pay attention to that, because I've never, I don't recall ever having to toss it out because, you know, the thing didn't work. But anyway, so here we have our frame. Look at that. So again, frame. On the other two, it'll just be matte layers. So I'll be right back. I'm just going to run these guys through. I'm also going to take, well, let me run these through and then I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So, I will be needing a piece of acetate, and actually this is just acetate carrier that I got from like a stamp set. I was gonna say stamp sheet, but stamp set. So I'll be using that for the edit there. Yeah, so this is just from a stamp carrier. This is the die that we'll be using. It's the same one that cut us this little frame. Now, you can take this die and put it on your acetate and run it through your die cutting machine. If you have a die cutting machine that has metal shims, I would cut this into the metal shim, so die, plastic, you know, acetate, metal shim, and then whatever sandwich you have to do on top and bottom. For the marquee, we have metal shims that are like this. Now you can see this one's a little bit shorter, very well loved. I could definitely put this on here, you know, trim it down obviously so it fits. Run a part through, and then this part that hangs off, I'll just take it out and then turn it around and run the rest of it through. But for today, just to make it simple and just what's in the kit here, I'm just going to measure this and then cut my acetate down to that size. But you basically need this, so what you're going to have is an acetate piece that's exactly the same size as your frame. But like I said, I'm just going to cut this down by hand. So I'm just going to measure from scallop, like that inside scallop, to this other one here. I would say, oh gosh, about 2 and I don't know, what do you think, 3/8, a little bit bigger than 2 3/8, and in the other direction 7, let me see here, 7 and about 3/8 also, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to cut it just about those dimensions just for the guillotine cutter, and I'll be right back. Okay, so again, just trim that down, and all we're going to do to assemble this is just adhere this to our layer here. So I'm just going to put the glue all around here. Sorry, my gardener just, not my gardener, my neighbor's gardener just showed up. But either way, I'm going to put glue all around this and just lay it down over my acetate, okay? And just hold on to that and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so here, look at that. Our little frame. We're going to put that to the side for now. I'm just going to layer up my card base. Okay. So again, this is just a matte layer because I didn't use that inner, you know, rectangle. On this one, I just used the inner rectangle, and that made another matte layer. And then this one, since we paired them together, made a frame, right? So just however you want to use those. Fun with that. And again, this is pretty much the whole card top here at that 8.5 by 3.5. And we have this guy. I suppose if you want to make flat side frames, you could do that, because you could use like this guy with this next one, or however, put those on your paper, and now you have a frame that's just straight sided. Lots of ways to play with this. That looks good. Okay, and this guy I'm going to frame it out, and that just takes, you know, your foam adhesive. Now, depending on the roll and what size yours is, like if I look at this, I think it's perfectly going to be just fine back there. But if you need to trim yours down, what I do is I just cut it right, and, you know, get your scissors and just cut as you go. Right, you know, cut off as much as you need to cut off for it to work out for you. But whenever you frame these guys out, you always want to just make sure to not have any gaps so nothing comes out. Like if you're using glitter or whatever it is that you put in there, you definitely don't want it to fall out. So from one right snug to the next one and roll it down all across, okay? I'll be back, guys. So I framed that out, and then you just take your carriers off. I think I left one on just to show you. And people can do this also by piecing together foam pieces. It's easier if you have the roll, of course. And this guy, a lot of times what I do is I tape these down just so it doesn't move, but I think I can eyeball this. And I'm just going to use some of this beautiful iridescent circle dots here. Make sure it's all kind of in the center, not really piled up over each other, because then it tends to want to stay together. And I'm just going to eyeball this guy. And, you know, this paper doesn't really have a direction, so if you wanted to orient this however you want to orient it, you can definitely do that. I'm eyeballing where this is going. Trying to keep it straight, and I see this moved a little bit. Put that back up there. Okay, again, give it a squish. Turn it over and give it the final squeeze. And now we have an awesome, like, complete slimline shaker. Again, you can do it with this outer edge too if you want the whole thing to be shakery. You know, orient it this way, however it is that you like. I do have these sweet Christmas wood veneers that Diamond Press had sent earlier, and I was just thinking about maybe using... This one's pretty. I love how different the wood is on this one compared to that one. Of course, you can color them in, do whatever you like. I think I'm going to leave this one like this, just to finish it off. And then I have some, along with that paper pack, there were some ephemera that coordinates back. So what I'm going to do is spend a moment just kind of looking to see what I want to do. And you know me, I keep it pretty simple. I probably just do what I just did right there. I think that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and while I'm at it, I'm going to pop like this guy in the back, maybe up there, and this one like down here somewhere. Yeah, I think that's good. So I'll just glue them down, put glue, just hold them down. And I'll be a little messy, had a little fun here, some, you know, we had some inking over here, strictly basically die cutting over here. Really, really awesome results. So hopefully I give you some ideas. Again, I'm going to put my glue gun on, pop that guy on there. Some more ideas to use this ultimate card making kit. I mean, the sky is the limit. The possibilities are super endless. Really juicy inks. Really want to talk about that today too. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll have links in the description box, and I would love to read your comments. Please leave them down below, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.